So let's just find a comfortable seat here. And you can be in a chair if that feels good. You could be laying down on the floor here, seated, or in a shavasana. So whatever you're needing to start out, to quiet down, to check in, just go there. And before we start to move here, let's just hunch the shoulders up around the ears. Take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale, sigh the breath out, let it go. Good, do that a few more times. So scrunch a lot. It's gonna almost feel like the circulation is cutting off. And then feel that sense of release and relief as you let go. A couple more. And then just finding a nice comfortable seat here. So if you're seated in a chair, maybe just peek down really quick, make sure that your feet are about hip distance apart. You can always slide a blanket underneath your feet if you need to. And then just rock forward and back a couple of times and just notice what happens, how the weight shifts on the sit bones as you do that. Even the muscles that engage as you come forward and then come back, especially in your core. And then find that place where you're nice and center. So you're feeling your shoulders stack over your sit bones. And of course, if you are just laying on your back in Shavasana here to start, that's absolutely fine. You can release your hands by your side or have hands on thighs. And if you haven't already, close your eyes. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth, let the breath go. Ha. And then do that a few more times. So letting the days so far go. Maybe the past couple of days if they felt at all stressful. And just beginning to give yourself permission to drop into this place of stillness, this place of quietness, this place where you tune in and you notice what's going on for you today. And you're noticing the physical sensations, the mental, the emotional sensations. Just observing, just noticing as you start to drop into a nice, steady, even rhythm with your breath. Inhaling through your nose. Exhaling through your nose, potentially finding that sound of your Ujjayi breath if you practice that. So constricting the sides of the throat a little bit, it makes this gentle sound like ocean waves. With each inhale, try to find a little more space through the sides of your waist, in your spine. And use your exhale to help you find this sense of grounding, whether that's into sit bones, the backside of your body, the feet. And then mostly just soak up this stillness. And you might find that you're still distracted by sounds happening around you. You might find that there's still thoughts coming in and out of your head. That's okay. This doesn't have to look perfect. But we do try to find these pockets of quiet and stillness. We try to thread more of those moments together. As you're sitting here, notice if there's any face or any tension in your face or jaw, and then maybe even notice if either you're tucking your chin a lot or if the chin has started to lift up. So again, find the sensation of the back of the neck feeling nice and long, nice and even. Good. Take one more deep inhale, fill up. Maybe pause at the top and then sip in a little more air. And then open your mouth, open your eyes, sigh the breath out. Ha. Good. And then let's just start to find a little movement. So just starting to rock around in the hips here. So if you're on your back in Shavasana, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just roll to one side or the other and just come to seat either on the floor or on a chair. You can just have hands pressing on thighs or knees, depending upon where you're at. And then you really let this movement feel good. You might pause in certain places. You can kind of get the shoulders involved, so dip them in. Hi, Amy Hillman, welcome. Just kind of starting to feel a little movement in the body. I always like this one. This kind of motion isn't something that we get very often in our yoga practice. So let it feel really good. And then you can slowly start to switch directions here. And just play around. Maybe you get to a spot where you're feeling a nice stretch in the lower back. So you pause for a moment. Beautiful work, everyone. Good, and then we're just gonna start to make our way back to our mountain post, so to that comfortable seat. And again, just making any little adjustments here so that you can feel like you're sitting nice and tall. And we're just gonna move this into some seated cat-cow. So finding this rocking forward motion on your inhale. So kind of finding this cobra stretch. So the chest comes forward through the gates of the shoulders. And then as you exhale, you move in the opposite direction. You rock to the backs of your sit bones, really let the back of the neck lengthen and release. And that's hard to find that release. It might take several rounds here to get there, but you move in that direction. And as we're here for a minute or two, I'm going to start to feel a little more ease, a little more comfort, hopefully, as your spine begins to open up. You might even get a little chiropractic adjustment here. And you're really listening to that sound of your breath, and you're really coordinating your movement with your breath. So you're finding a pace that feels really good and organic in your body today. Every time we get on our yoga mats, our practice looks a little different. So some days it feels like we need to move a little more. Some days we need to move a little slower, kind of take our time. Sometimes we need to skip poses. So these are all options as we continue to move here. If you'd like to continue working like this, you're welcome to do that. If you'd like to start to involve the arms, you can also move in that direction. So as you inhale, Stretch one arm forward. And then exhale, come back into that cat stretch. Release the arm down. Inhale, lengthen opposite arm forward. Nice work. Exhale. Just continuing like that. Maybe with that arm extended, it feels like you can get a little more lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. Couple more here. Let's do one more to each side. So you're going to finish up on that left side. Beautiful work. Looks really nice, Martha. And when you're done with that left side, just find your mountain pose again. So find this nice, comfortable seat. And let's stretch into the neck a little bit here. So nice and easy. Find that feeling of the cat stretch in the back of your neck. So start to release your chin towards your chest, any amount. And just taking some nice, smooth, steady breaths there. So your chin isn't going to get to your chest. That doesn't matter, but move in that direction. As you come here, observe if your shoulders have started to creep up around your ears. If that's the case, soften them down. Maybe your arms begin to release by your side. So as you go there, if it starts to feel too intense, just kind of back out a little bit. So always making little adjustments. And then let's just move a little bit here with this today before we move slow. So as you inhale, start to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. As you exhale, you come back to center. Good. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Good. Exhale, back to center. We're going to do this a few more times, then we're going to move a little slower. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. I just kind of want to warm this up a little bit today. Exhale. Back to center. Two more. Just moving at your pace, so finding vinyasa here. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhale, back to center. And then this time, taking several breaths to make that journey. Maybe reaching down through left fingertips, kind of letting that arm hang really heavy if you want a little more stretch through the top of that left neck. And then also you're going to feel places where you're getting a really intense stretch here. So you're more than welcome to pause there for a breath or two. Keep the breath moving. So even in these like seemingly simple poses, sometimes they're the most intense. They pack a really big punch. So we start to hold the breath. We start to clench the teeth a little bit, soften there, smile a little bit. It's only yoga. Good. And then let's slowly roll back to center on the exhale. And then the same thing to the left side. So inhale, start to bring that left ear towards the left shoulder. We're doing this several times, so it doesn't have to be like perfect. As you exhale, roll back to center. You're already getting a sense of what's going on that right side of the neck. Inhale, Left ear to left shoulder. Exhale to center. And I just noticed in my body that my left ear was creeping up towards, or my left shoulder is creeping up towards my left ear. So if that's happening to you, release down. It is so interesting how we start to grip in places and we aren't even aware of it. So this is one of the reasons why our yoga practice is so beneficial and helpful. It kind of trains us to catch that. All right. So this next time, as you're moving left ear towards left shoulder, just take lots of time here, maybe releasing arms by side again, maybe really energetically reaching through those right fingertips, letting that right arm feel heavy. If that intensifies the stretch that you're feeling on the top of the left or right shoulder, right neck, side of the right neck too much, just put hand back on thigh. So there's always ways to modify. Breath smooth and steady, that inhale through your nose. That exhale through your nose. Just observing the sensations happening in your body. Trying to breathe some space into the places that are tight. Good. As we exhale, we start to bring the neck back to center. And then just hang here. So chin moving towards chest. Shoulders feeling nice and heavy, just releasing earthward. Finding lots of length in the back of the neck. Can you let it go a little more? It's hard to do. Good, and then nice and easy, just start to bring your head upright. Good, so finding that mountain pose. Good, and then let's roll the shoulders back. And let's roll them forward. Good. So before we come into a little more shoulder work today, let's just do our side-to-side lateral stretching. Just find a little more flow there. So kind of like our cat-cow, but side to side. So just releasing your arms by your side. And again, for this variation, you can be seated in a chair, you could be seated on the floor. As we inhale, we're going to take our left arm up and over. So we lean off to the right. Try to keep rooting into both sit bones evenly. That left one's going to pop up a little. So you exhale, release left arm down. Nice work. Inhale, right arm comes up and over. Good. Exhale, release. And then inhale up. Good. And then you're just finding your rhythm here. This does not need to be a super deep side to side stretch, especially if you're getting a lot of sensation and it feels too intense. You just back out a little bit. Mostly just enjoying how this rhythm feels in your body. And also enjoying the side stretching that you're getting. That always feels really yummy. See if you can find a little more length, especially as we begin to warm up into this stretch a little bit. Good, really nice work, everybody. These look great. We're gonna do a couple more on each side. And then we'll come into the hold. And you just notice if you naturally start to smile as we begin to flow a little bit. It's hard not to. All right, so the next time that left arm is reaching up and over, you can hold there. Let those right fingertips lengthen down. You can just imagine that somebody's gently pressing into your left thigh and then maybe holding onto your left wrist, helping you to stretch a little deeper. And then you feel this inner arm wrap towards your outer arm. Maybe you look up underneath that top arm. It feels okay in the neck, and we did just kind of warm the neck up, so you can play with that. Breath is still smooth and steady. Good. As you exhale, release that left arm by your side. Inhale, this right arm comes up and over. Good, so trying to find lots of length on the right side, but there's a little bit of a twist here. So you're wrapping those left ribs up. And then just imagine that somebody is anchoring down into that right thigh, so you're feeling really supported there. And feel this inner arm wrap in towards your cheek, so you're getting a little internal rotation in that top arm. Feel the shoulder blades release down your back. Great work. Maybe you're looking up underneath that top arm. Deep inhale. Good. As you exhale, release arms by your side, and then maybe just close your eyes here. Check in again, take a few breaths, kind of center yourself. Maybe let the breath slow down if it started to speed up at all. Good, blink your eyes open. We're gonna take our right arm in front of our chest, and we're gonna do a little tricep stretch here. So you can hold with that left hand. You can hook with the elbow, wherever you're at. And you might even be hooking a little further down on your arm, kind of depending upon how tight the shoulders are in your body. So lots of little variations here, but mostly just squeezing that right arm in any amount. And you're gonna feel a stretch across the tricep here. I'm getting into the shoulder. I'm actually even getting at a little inner arm. So, and we're all different. Again, we're all like, every time we show up on our mat too, the stretches feel a little different. So you're just noticing, where am I feeling some sensation today? Is it different than what I usually get? You're just noticing, just observing. Good, a few more nice breaths. Observe if the shoulders have started to creep up around your ears, soften them down. Good, deep inhale. Exhale, release. And then we take that to the second side, which may feel quite a bit different. So modify as needed. Left arm comes in front. Hooking with elbow, holding with hand. So whatever you need. Breath smooth and steady. Keep those shoulders releasing, relaxing down. Noticing how this side might be feeling different in your body. Good work, everyone. A few more breaths here. Really nice modification, Kelly. Good, nice deep inhale. Exhale, sigh the breath out, let it go. Ha. Let that arm release. Coming back to your mountain pose, taking a moment or two here. So let's get into the shoulders and neck a little further. Let's go ahead and explore our Garudasana arms, so our eagle pose arms, and we'll just do the upper body first, and then we'll have the opportunity to do that again, but we'll add the legs. You could also be doing this laying down on your mat, so that's always an option too. But let's go ahead and stretch our arms out here. Good, and we're going to give ourselves a hug. We're going to take our right arm on top. And we move towards stacking elbows on top of each other. That may or may not happen. I'm kind of holding my shoulder blades with my fingertips here. And then we start to lift our elbows up towards the ceiling. As we're doing that, we're releasing our shoulder blades down towards the tailbone. So for many of us, just being in this position here, this first phase of the pose can feel really, really intense. So you take breaks if you need to, you stay here. If it's accessible in your body, maybe you start to press the backs of the hands together and really try to firm. You're going to feel the muscles in the upper arms engage, but hold on to that feeling of elbows lifting, shoulder blades releasing down. You might even be able to reach around and press palms together. So all good places to be. They're essentially doing exactly the same thing. Keep breathing here. Nice work. Nice work. Beautiful, Jean. Nice, Jim. All right, so wherever you're at, if you'd like to turn this in, it's just a little back bend here. Maybe start to lift the elbows a little bit higher and then lean back. So gaze comes up any amount. That might change where you're feeling the stretch in your spine. Good, one more deep inhale. As you exhale, release, and just give the arms, the shoulders, a little shake out, kind of let that all go. You can roll the shoulders if you need to. So anything that feels good there before we come into that second side of our Garudasana. So our eagle pose arms. All right, here we go. So as we inhale, arms stretch out wide. And then giving yourself a hug here. Left arm comes on top this time. Good. So you can just be holding on to the sides of your arms. Maybe you can reach back, kind of feel those shoulder blades. So just getting a little leverage to start to lift your elbows up a little higher. As you do that, feel your shoulder blades squeezing in towards each other on the center of your back and then releasing towards your tailbone. You're welcome to stay like this, particularly if you're getting a sense of intensity, you're feeling the stretch here, this is a great place to be. Otherwise, again, you have the option to press the backs of the hands together, maybe really squeeze the lower arms in towards each other. You might be able to reach around, press palms. Same actions apply though. Those elbows start to lift a little bit wherever they're at. Shoulder blades release down. Breath smooth and steady. Release any tension in your face and your jaw. And then finally, if you wanted to turn this into a little back bend here, perhaps start to lift elbows up a little more. Lean back, really try to shine your sternum up to the ceiling. Good, and then as you exhale, release. Oh, give the shoulders a little wiggle, the arms a little shake. Nice work. Coming back to your mountain pose, just taking a moment to pause. So we're going to do that again, same sequence with the arms, but we're going to add the legs. So just a couple of breaths here before we go there. All right, so we are going to take, we're going to cross our left thigh over our right thigh to start. And you might need to kind of shift that right foot off to the left a little bit. You're also willing or completely welcome to just skip the legs today if this variation isn't feeling good, and you can just do the arm variation again. If you are here, just think outer hips and inner thighs squeezing into the midline. Even if that's not an action that's accessible in your body, kind of think in that direction and just notice if that thought informs or affects how you hold your upper body. Okay, so this kind of this feeling of containment, everything's coming into the center, so we get nice and tall through the sides of our waist. Good, we're gonna inhale, stretch our arms up. So we're going opposite this time. We're gonna take, what the right arm is gonna come on top. So left arm underneath. And you just go into that arm variation that feels good in your body. It might feel a little different with legs in the mix, so maybe you need to back off a little bit, but elbows can be stacking, kind of giving yourself a bear hug here. Maybe the backs of the hands press, maybe palms press, all good places to be. Keep lifting the elbows up a little bit. Nice work. Keep squeezing out our hips in. Good, so you have the option to stay here like this. If you would like to hinge forward and you feel safe doing so. So if this introduces any balance issues for you, skip it. But you might start to hinge forward a little bit, maybe even hooking the elbows on the knees. So a little crouching, Garudasana, nice work. Keep breathing. Good, as we inhale, we come on up. Let the arms go. Good, release them down. Nice job. And then just go ahead and uncross that left thigh. So find center, find your mountain pose. And then we're going to take the right thigh over the left thigh. So again, maybe you need to kind of heel toe the left foot to the right a little bit. So you feel nice and steady here. Everything's squeezing into the midline as you root down into the sit bones. You feel this lengthening through the sides of your waist. Good. Take a nice deep inhale, stretch your arms out wide. Good. So left arm is going to come on top this time. Give yourself that squeeze. Start to lift elbows up. Maybe backs of the hands press, maybe palms press, all great variations. Same actions apply wherever you're at. Good, and then you stay upright like this if this feels good. If you want to come into the forward fold, you're welcome to try that as well. Again, if you feel at all unsteady or unsafe doing that, skip it. What you might find as you do this is that you get a little stretch, a little hip stretch, a little groin stretch, especially that leg that is on top. Nice work. If you've lost the breath, come back to it. Good, and then we inhale, come on out. Exhale, stretch the arms out. Release them by your side. Good. And then just uncross that right thigh. Come to your Tadasana, your mountain pose. Take a couple of breaths there and then just notice how you feel. So we've done a lot of neck and shoulder work thus far today. So hopefully it's feeling like you're getting a little release. Things aren't gripping quite as much. That might not be true. Some days it just takes a little longer to get there. And then just kind of paying attention, noticing if things have shifted. From here, let's move into just a pretty classic seated twist. So Jim, you're going to go really, really easy on this. I want you to go less far. So be mindful about that. All right. So we're going to inhale, stretch our arms out. Good. And then exhale, we're going to start to twist to the left. I want you to put your brain in this lowermost left rib. I'm sorry, we're twisting to the right. I said that wrong. So, and if you're on the left, that's fine. You can just stay there. Do the opposite next time. But the opposite rib, opposite lower rib, you're moving in that direction. Good. Maybe you reach back, grab a piece of chair. And then perhaps, so if you're going less steep, I'm going to suggest that you just bring your left hand to that left thigh. You can press to the inner edge of that thigh to find a little bit of that idea of shoulder heads pressing back. Keep sitting nice and tall. You might mostly be facing forward. That's okay. For those of us that are able to get in a little deeper here, perhaps you bring your hand to the outside of your right thigh. So wherever you're at, you're getting a little leverage. Your gaze might be forward. It might be moving towards the side. You might be moving towards looking out over that right shoulder, left shoulder, if you're twisting to the left. But if you feel any sensation that isn't good, you just back out a little bit. Go less steep. That's always an option. Jim, that looks really good. Nice work. And actually, everybody, these look really nice. Let's take a few more breaths. With each inhale, I want you to lengthen in your spine. So growing a little taller. And then as you exhale, as you empty out, maybe you twist in like a thought more, a micromillimeter more. It might not actually happen. That's okay. Good. And then a nice deep inhale. Exhale, release. Come back to center. Find a couple of breaths there in your mountain pose. Good. And then we go to the second side. So if you went to the left side, as I said too, go to the right side this time. As we inhale, arms stretch up and out. And you can just imagine that somebody is holding onto both wrists gently, kind of tractioning you apart. Deep inhale here. Root into your sit bones. Think lowermost right ribs twisting to the left. And then all of the ribs on top just kind of come along for the ride. Need not be very deep. Sitting nice and tall here. Notice if you're leaning forward in your chair at all. These look really good. And then we release the arms. So if you're not going as deep in the twist, right hand on right thigh or to the inside of left thigh, can reach your left hand back, find a piece of chair. If it is accessible in your body and you want to go a little deeper, you bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. And then there's almost this action of hand and thigh pressing against each other equally. So it helps you to get a little leverage. The shoulder heads begin to press back. You feel a gentle lift of your sternum up towards the ceiling. And then the last piece of this is you start to play with your gaze, being really mindful about the sensations that you get in your neck, the stretch that goes on. So we never want to move in a direction where it doesn't feel good, where it feels too intense. Always back out of that a little bit. But you can begin to move in the direction of bringing your gaze out over your left shoulder. You might not get all the way there. That's absolutely fine. Inhale, fill up, find length. Exhale, empty out. Maybe move in a little deeper, maybe not. Good, and then as you exhale again, just unwind here. Come back to center. And then let's just move into a nice little forward fold here. So you might want blocks if you have them on the floor so you can rest your hands. We're just going to take a nice little uttanasana. So you slowly start to roll on down. Fingertips might be on the floor. It might feel better to have hands on blocks. The tendency here is for the head to hold, the neck to hold and grip. So let it lengthen, let the back of the neck lengthen. So you're kind of gazing between your feet towards your chair if you're seated. I'm just taking several breaths like this, kind of just using gravity here. I'm finding an inversion, so the head below the heart, to kind of help lengthen out the spine. Good, and then nice and slow. You can use your hands to help you roll on up to a comfortable seat. You might get a little head rush as you come out of that. That was a nice long forward fold. So let's kind of move that into one more twist here. And I'll give you a couple of options for this. It'll kind of be a half forward fold with a twist. So you can take your legs a little wider here if that is possible. I'm just going to show you really quick what we're going to do. So we're going to do our little wide-legged forward fold twist. So looks like this. That might not be happening in your body today, and you might not want to forward fold that much. So the other option is to stay more upright. Can even keep your legs together, and then just pressing in to that opposite thigh, lifting one hand or the other. So if you are coming into the wide leg version, go ahead and take your feet a little wider. It's really nice to have a block here. If you have one, you may or may not need it. And if you're just sitting upright, just find your nice mountain pose. So if you're upright, you're going to take your left hand to that left thigh. It can press to the inside. It can be pressing on top, whatever is good. Root into your sit bones. Start to spin open. If keeping your arm extended tall like this is challenging, you could always bend your elbow. So just bring your fingertips behind your head. If you are here with the wide-legged version, we're going to take a nice steep inhale here. And then as we exhale, nice work, Tammy. We're going to fold in, and you're going to bring your hand to the block. You might need to, so left hand comes to block. You might need to put it a little higher. You might need to move it a little lower. All right, so take an inhale, find more length through the sides of your waist. And let's keep our right hand on our right hip. Exhale, start to twist to the left. Yeah, you got it, Martha. You could either keep your hand on your hip here like this. Maybe you start to extend your right arm up. Nice work. Gazing forward to the side, maybe looking up at that right thumb wherever you're at. That's it, Jim. Yep. Good. One more deep inhale here. As you exhale, you unwind, come back to center. Again, so the variation. So if you're just doing this more upright, if it just feels better in your body to be a little taller, perfect. Go ahead and just bring your right hand either to the outside of your thigh. You can press it. Actually, just keep it on that right thigh. So the inside of the right thigh or pressing down on the top. All right. And then start to spin to the left. Maybe extending that left arm up. And again, a great variation here is to bend the elbow. Just bring your fingertips behind your head. If you are in the wide-legged version, again, we fold forward. Right hand presses on the block. Good. And then hold onto your left hip. Kind of lean that left elbow back as you start to spin to the left. You can keep your hand here like this. Maybe you start to extend up and then start to play around with your gaze. It's just giving everything another little ring out here. Beautiful work, Amy. A nice deep inhale. As you exhale, unwind, come back to center. And then before we come into our Shavasana, let's just move into a little breath work. So let's do our viloma 1 today. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done that. So as you'll recall, our viloma 1 is our 3-part breath happening on the inhale. And I'll talk you through this, but for now, just find a nice, comfortable seat. You could always be doing this on your back. That can feel really good, particularly with a little support under your back. So a bolster or some blankets, that can feel really nice. And it kind of opens up the heart so you can really feel the breath. Seated feels really good too. So wherever you need to be. Eyes closed. Feel that lengthening through the sides of the waist. Lift of the heart up towards the ceiling. And then a smooth, steady inhale. Smooth, steady exhale. So just finding that initially. You can be doing this in conjunction with your Ujjayi breath here. You can also let go of that. So just a simple inhale and exhale through the nose works as well. Good, so let's all take a nice deep inhale together. Full complete exhale through your nose. Empty out completely. Pause at the bottom. You'll even feel your lower belly pull in and up a little bit. And then inhale 1/3 of the way up. So to your belly button, pause the breath. Inhale another 1/3 of the way up. So to those floating ribs, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbone. So that final 1/3, pausing the breath, feel that openness across your heart and chest, that lift of the sternum. Turn the breath around, exhale through your nose. And then just return to a normal rhythm of breathing here. That inhale through your nose, that exhale through your nose, kind of letting that first round go. And kind of assess how it went. Sometimes the first round can feel a little rough. Some days this breath can feel rough. And if that's you today, if you start to feel anxious on the retentions, just breathe if you need to. Maybe it feels better to skip this viloma breath today. So you can just be sitting in quiet meditation. And if this feels good, you can continue on. So let's take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Full complete exhale through the nose, empty out. Just slight pause at the bottom. Inhale 1/3 of the way up, pause. Inhale another 1/3 of the way, pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath the collarbones. And then turn the breath around, exhale through your nose. Returning to normal breathing. And just taking some recovery breaths here. Another thing that you want to observe as you're doing this viloma breath, so sometimes when we come into those retentions, those holds, everything in the body starts to tense up. So see if you can avoid that. So you don't want any tension or gripping. I'm going to take a nice deep inhale through the nose. Full, complete exhale. Pausing the breath out. And then inhale 1/3 of the way up. Pause. Inhale another third of the way. Pause the breath. Inhale all the way up underneath your collarbones. Feel that lift of heart. Exhale the breath out. Just returning to some normal breathing at the bottom of that exhale. And beginning to move towards our Shavasana here. So you can just stay seated here, nice and quiet, if it feels good for you. And to rest your head on a desk or a chair in front of you, kind of coming into little supported child's pose, forward fold. You can do that. You can also do a classic Shavasana on the floor if that is something that is available to you. Mostly just find a place where you can sit with this sense of ease. And just take a few moments again to check in, to quiet down, to soak up all of the hard work that you've done today. Shavasana. Asato ma sat gamaya. Tamaso ma jyoti gamaya. Mrityoma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let your next inhale be deeper. Open your mouth, sigh the breath out, ha. Bring some gentle movement back to your body, wiggle, stretch, anything that feels good here. And then placing your palms in a pile on top of your heart. Send yourself love and gratitude, send your body love and gratitude. Just observe what's shifted for you this past hour, how you feel differently than when you began. Promise yourself that you're going to carry some of this feeling that you've worked so hard to create with you into the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month ahead. And finally, just bow your head with a smile. Beautiful work today, yogis. So good to see all of you. Thank you. Namaste. Guys are welcome to unmute yourselves. Ask any questions. Thanks, everyone. How's the new place, Amy Hillman?
Oh, it's slowly coming together.
It takes a while. It's a lot of work.
I still have more boxes to unpack.
Yeah, it'll happen. It'll happen when it happens.
Yeah, it'll be a while, but hopefully in the next month or two I'll be organized. I'll be situated.
You'll be there. You'll be there.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions about anything that we did?
I liked it. Everything was good.
Good.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I wanted to let you all know that I'm not going to be in class, at least for a little while. I want to, I'm kind of transitioning to taking advantage of some other online options while they're available, because I don't know if they'll continue to be available after the pandemic. So like I was in on a class that Matthew Sanford offered this morning. And honestly, I'm just trying to, I'm needing to just spend more time on my mat alone, just sort of listening to my body with the stuff I have going on. So yeah, but I just so miss meeting with you all in person. And yet, of course, Amy Hillman's and couldn't be otherwise. So it's such a mixed bag with the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to miss you, Kelly, but I also want to just hear that I completely support that. And I want all of you to hear that. Our yoga practices are these things that are in flux, and with different things going on in our bodies, sometimes we need to take a break or work in other directions, or like you said, get on your mat and do things on your own. So I want all of you to know that there's never any pressure to be here. I obviously love seeing you all, but it's I so honor and respect Kelly kind of taking a break from this if it's not working. And I know that you're doing a lot of other things, and I think it's really cool to explore those opportunities too, because there's a lot of really good teachers out there.
Yeah, I wish there were endless hours in the day.
There's not.
I think it's so cool how you're expanding your library, because I'm thinking about who's taking advantage of that nationally. So
yeah, I have no idea. It's so interesting, it's not like I'm not getting tons of views. I mean, I think that there's so many things that you have to do to be visible, but it is fascinating, especially the adaptive classes. They're getting more views than anything else. And sometimes immediately, so it is cool. It's like, where are people coming from?
There's no way to see, like, you can see how many hits.
Maybe there is, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think that you can see views and likes and stuff like that. I think aside from people kind of letting you know where they're joining from, that's a good question. I guess the truth is that I don't know. There's so much stuff on the back end that's, it's a lot to figure out. So
It's impressive what you figured.
I'm just happy that I'm getting it up, that I figured out how to edit it. That's like a good start. So
really impressive.
I'll take that. Yeah. But you will be missed, and you're always welcome to pop in at the beginning of class or the end of class.
Yes. Oh, thank you.
Give the Zoom info and say hi and let us know what's going on.
I might do that. Thank you. And I'll, see you again. And boy, I was telling Gianna in an email that I really miss her hands-on work. I love your, the strength you use and your long limbs and the steadiness of pressure. And
this is interesting too. I mean, it's so nice that we can meet like this, but there's a lot of things that we're not doing that we used to. We used to do more floor and belly work and seated work. And, I just don't feel like it's so easy to do that in this format. Like you say, it's a mixed bag.
That's right. That has to stretch all online yoga teachers who do adaptive work.
Yeah, I imagine so. And you're trying to kind of keep things fresh, and I guess that's true of anything. But yeah.
It was such a small group today.
It is. I know. It's my class prior to this was small too. I don't know if it's just like the February blahs. Who else is like February? I'm always, even though we have birthdays this month. I think Tammy's is coming up.
That's four of us then.
No, because it's
who have birthdays this month. Because
it just feels like it's kind of like it's not even the middle of winter, but it just February to me has always just felt like, I know it's short. We're going to end. So, well, I'm glad that you all were here. It was good to see all of you.
Me too.
And we will,
Good to be seen.
I won't see you next week, Jean, because you have book club.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I guess
hope
I
it's
do.
a good book.
Yeah. It's pretty interesting.
It's so okay. Not your favorite, but it's all right.
No.
Bye,
no.
Jim.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Jim.
Bye, everybody. Good luck, Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly, we'll see you down the road. And like I said, you're always welcome to pop
course.
in.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Wellness to everybody.
Keep me posted on everything.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah, I was telling Gianna I'm going to have some prolotherapy done, which is interesting. It's injections into the joints to try to tighten up some ligaments that are too loose. Like basically, I have sprains in my sacroiliac joints.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was glad to see your email, Jenna, that you've heard good things about prolotherapy.
My mom has had a couple of friends that have done it with good success. It does take a while, though.
Yeah, he told me I might need 3 treatments each a month apart.
And I even think past the treatments, it kind of is still kind of working its magic. So I'm hopeful that that's going to provide you with some ease. I know you've been in a lot of pain lately.
Thank you. Yeah, I sure hope it makes a difference. It could pretty radically improve the quality of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that's frustrating.
Well, happy birthday, fellow February birthday babies.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to all of you.
Okay, and we'll see many of you next week.
Thanks so much.
Okay.
Jenna.
Goodbye, everybody. Great to see you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
You too.